Hello and welcome to Digital Nation, your tour around the UK in the company of the journalists from the nation's local TV stations. In this week's show, we visit a farm in Scotland with a smiling herd of South American beauties. We join some of the Irish dancing contestants in Belfast and meet a courageous 12-year-old defying all the odds. And you can comment using the hashtag #DigitalNation. Our first visit this week is to Cambridge, where the University Library contains the most curious of objects. Such oddities as Russian bookmarks and paper bags, as well as beard hair sent to Charles Darwin to settle an argument, sit alongside ectoplasm from a séance in 1950. Time to call the Ghostbusters.
From Indian slippers to Stone Age tools, these curiosities tell the story of human history across the globe.
The thing that's been here the longest is perhaps the small anatomical model and ivory skeleton that was given to the library by John Bannister, who was a surgeon, and he gave us this in 1591. And we also have examples of Soviet ephemera that were given by the late Dr. Catherine Cook, who collected widely on Soviet architecture and design. So as well as academic books and journals, she also collected things like bookmarks, postcards, packaging. We even have a paper bag on show as part of the collections.
The library's been collecting the curious objects for over 600 years. Among the treasure trove, pots dating back to pre-dynastic Egypt and fragments of beard hair sent to Charles Darwin to win an argument.
The exhibition also reveals a darker past. Since 1989, it's been home to the archive of the Society for Psychical Research. This ectoplasm is said to have exuded from a séance in 1950, from a spirit medium who became the last person to be imprisoned for witchcraft. Another object that played an important part in séances, a rather large trumpet.
So what happens during a trumpet séance is the medium and all the people attending the séance take their seats, and then the lights go down, and the trumpet here is placed on a table, and in the darkness it appears to rise from the table and float around the room, emitting spirit voices and sometimes even ectoplasm.
To Brighton now, where an award-winning curry restaurant reveals the secret of its success could be down to the authentic Indian chefs it employs. With chicken tikka masala becoming part of British food heritage, latest TV went along for a taste.
I've been a chef that's travelled all my life and worked in 8 countries all over the world. India was part of that journey. The beauty of India is there's so much diversity. So as a chef, as a creative chef, there's so much to play with.
And a lot of the team that you have in the kitchen come from the different regions of India.
Yeah, I always try and have a nice balance. It's generally always chefs from Kerala or Tamil Nadu, great Rajasthani tandoor chefs.
The British curry industry is actually now responsible for a huge amount of Britain's national income.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself as being an important mover in that?
You know, it is part of the English heritage. Everyone that is England goes out for Indian food. It's who we are.
Being acknowledged and shortlisted is a great accolade for us. It's not always going to be about quantity, it's about quality, and I think there's some great standards here in Brighton, and as you said, the industry is booming and it's growing. I think curry should just be celebrated in general for the whole of the UK.
Farmers are constantly looking to diversify their output in order to boost their income. In Scunthorpe, one farm has grasped the opportunity to expand from a solitary table-selling misshaped veg to a thriving award-winning concern with a steady flow of visitors.
Tucked away on the outskirts of Scunthorpe lies the Pink Pig Farm, a haven for locally produced food, free-range animals and fun for all the family. The farm has recently been crowned the winner in the Outstanding Rural Diversification Project at the Rural Business Awards, the UK's only dedicated national business awards that serve the rural community. The farm has gone from being nothing more than a little stall at the end of the farm's driveway to a multi-purpose establishment, including a farm shop, restaurant, toy shop, outdoor and indoor play areas and petting fields, home to a diverse array of furry friends.
It's owned by Sally and Andrew Jackson, who are farmers through and through. It started as an organic farm, and Sally didn't like the fact that supermarkets didn't like to accept unappealing vegetables, so she set up a little trestle table at the end of the drive, quite adamant that she would sell this to the general public. And from there she built the restaurant in an old cow shed, built the farm shop, And then 2 years ago we added the play barn, which was to make us an all-weather venue. And then from there we've just built a toy shop, and we've extended with a new car park and more outdoor play next year. So we've gone from selling fruit and veg from a little table to sort of welcoming 80,000 people a year. It's amazing. We like to think that we offer, you can come and do your local groceries here, keep your children occupied and enjoy a cake or two, which, what more can you want, really?
The urban fox is becoming a regular sight around our neighbourhoods in recent times. So when a country park near Glasgow brought in some cute new relations originating from North Africa, STV Glasgow went along to find out what makes them different from our homegrown species and serve them a few delicacies.
I may look as if I'm in a tropical rainforest, but I'm actually in Calderglen Country Park, and I've come here to meet some animals that might be given away by my jumper. Although it's not native British foxes I'm here to meet, it's North African ones, the fennec fox. So Billy, your role here at Calderglen is to look after all these incredible creatures, and we've got some new arrivals behind us. Tell us a bit about the fennec foxes.
Usually people associate them with Sahara, but they live right all the way over to Kuwait.
What kind of diet do they have then?
In captivity here, we've got them on dog food or cat food in the morning. Then they would have mealworms, crickets in the afternoon. Do you mind crickets or mealworms? You're not
No,
squeamish at
get
all?
involved, absolutely.
We'll give them a wee variety of everything we give them, and we'll see if they want it. So we've already got some wee crickets.
Oh yes.
I'll pop next door and get some mealworms.
Okay. Oh, and so this is another delicacy for the foxes?
Yes, this is the larvae, the flower beetle. They just eat. We feed them on flour and mixed fruit and things like that, so they probably taste quite nice. So I thought we could just scatter some food and we'll see what they do.
Why is it so important that we don't take these animals on as pets?
They would never be happy as a pet. That's the important thing to remember. They live in little social groups in the wild. They don't want a human being as a substitute. But they are quite easygoing and quite nice anyway. But they are nervous wee creatures. You can imagine living in the desert. They can run away and they can see things that are dangers approaching from miles away. So you've got to break down those barriers and get them confident.
As a child, to not be able to walk or talk is unimaginable. In Oxfordshire, one 12-year-old boy has endured multiple operations to every part of his body, and with hundreds of regular visits to a specialised centre, has finally defied the odds and started to walk. His next challenge is the biggest yet.
Oscar is 12 years old, and this Christmas he has been set the task of walking 90 metres from his house to a local shop. This, for another 12-year-old, may seem a simple task, but for Oscar, this will be one of his biggest challenges yet.
He is 12 and he's had 18 operations and a number of really invasive tests. He has a very anxious child, and every single part of his body has been affected by his disability, from his chest to his brain to his heart, his kidneys. He's had 2 major heart operations. And recently he was diagnosed with alkaline syndrome, which is a very rare syndrome. There's 6 other children in the world with it. There he's laughing. But he can't walk and he can't talk.
Oscar attends physiotherapy at the Footsteps Foundation. He has 132 sessions a year and has been attending the clinic for 9 years. And for the past 4, he has been working with physiotherapist Andrea, who has seen huge improvements in Oscar's sessions.
Not just physical, but psychologically as well. He's coming up, he has much more personality. He starts to be very funny. Yeah, very funny. So he's developing massively.
The pair have a very special bond, and after a lot of hard work, something amazing happened. Oscar took his very first steps.
And we were told that he probably wouldn't walk, but because Oscar's been coming to Footsteps for so long, we could always see progress. It was very slow progress, but we could see progress, and so we just kept coming. About age 6 or 7, he started crawling. He was bottom shuffling, and he just basically built it up from there. Started standing, I don't know, around 9, something like that, and then started walking age 12. Yay!
Yeah, he's walking like he was never expecting to walk by doctors. They said that he will never walk or sit down and do anything like that. And then, what was it, last year? He made first steps and he didn't stop since. So he's going. There are small steps, but they are massive in the long-term run. So.
Andrea developed a special plan to get Oscar walking, where she took all the components of walking apart, and Oscar practiced them separately, then put it all back together and put it all into practice.
And we do stuff which he's enjoying, for example, washing hands, or just walking around and seeing who is in which gym, because he's very nosy. So we make it interesting for him and motivate him, because firstly he needed to believe in himself that he can walk, and then he started.
Andrea and Oscar's family have always known that Oscar has so much potential and believe there really is no limit to what he can achieve.
There was never a question of whether he will walk or not. For me, it was always a question how to get to him and how to motivate him. And everybody knew that he's going to do it. You just find the right way.
There are very few children in the world like Oscar. We don't know what his full potential is. But we just basically, the only things we care about, that he's happy, he's healthy, and that we're helping him reach X, whatever that's going to be. So, yeah.
Oscar is an inspiration to so many families at the Footsteps Foundation, and they are all behind him in achieving his Christmas goal.
And that brings us to the end of the first half and this week's quiz. Which city outside London has the most Michelin-starred restaurants? Is it A, Manchester, B, Birmingham, or C, Leeds? Put your serviettes on and we'll tell you the answer after the break. Welcome back to Digital Nation. Before the break, we asked you, which city outside London has the most Michelin-starred restaurants? And the answer is B, Birmingham. Outside of the capital, Birmingham now has the most, with 6 Michelin-starred establishments. To Leeds now, where the top designers in the north recently gathered for the Northern Design Awards. With a member of the Serbian royal family and celebrated broadcaster and style guru Linda Barker in attendance, where better to find out if your dado rail is in fashion?
I'm here with George Bond, interior architect to the rich and the famous. What's it all about?
Right, it involves best architecture, best interior design, best landscaping. There's a lot of categories. I think there's about 26 categories. It goes from Birmingham right to the top of Scotland.
Big burning question that all the viewers at home want to know. Dado rails, are you for them or against?
Well, it depends on the house. I don't like them in titchy little rooms. They're meant for grand houses.
Now, you've done lots of shows where you've surprised the client at the end. What kind of reaction do you get from people on those kind of shows? Is it all stage or is it as genuine as it is?
All those reactions that you get on TV are absolutely as it is.
And does that terrify you?
I think it is quite terrifying. I mean, it's a very unique situation. You would never, ever do that for a client. In TV, it's completely different. It's completely different, and it's a joy to do that.
Well, we're delighted to be joined by Royal Highness Princess Katerina. Now, is this your first time in Leeds, or have you visited before?
I visited many times. It's something known as a daughter studying at Leeds Uni.
What's she studying? Design? Is it design?
Oh, now she is. But then it was history.
Is this a good way for you to have a look and think, ooh, I might do my house in this colour?
Or this is a good place to come and have a look to see how they can help me to put my house in the right colour.
In Liverpool, the Christmas festivities are in full swing, and the switching on of the Christmas lights always signifies the start of the build-up to the holidays. Made in Liverpool went along with the crowds, celebrating the big event.
We're here at Liverpool 1 for the Christmas light switch on, which is going to be a huge spectacle. There's thousands of people here at the minute and everyone is getting into the Christmas spirit. We found some more elves and some very Christmassy people. What are we doing to celebrate Christmas apart from working for Santa, obviously?
Well, I'm going to have lots of food and open lots of presents and deliver lots of presents to very good children.
Time for Creative Kingdom, and it's one that England footballers might want to avoid.
Let's put you on the spot. Where does the penalty kick originate? Not there, not there either. Getting warmer. There we go. The village of Milford, County Armagh. And it was the idea of this man, William McCrum. He was the son of a linen millionaire, but he ran the business into the ground. So he became a full-time gadabout in the week and goalkeeper of Milford Everton on a Saturday. But he wasn't very good at that either. One thing that really got on his nerves, however, was the way defenders of the era deliberately fouled attackers. So in 1890, he proposed that any fouled player be awarded a free shot at any point 12 yards from the goal line, and the motion was passed. Didn't think that through, did he? Never mind. William McCrum is now enshrined as one of the innovators of the modern game and beloved by footballers everywhere, apart from a few English ones. Because when it comes to creativity, innovation, and thinking outside the 18-yard box, in Armagh Mint.
Riverdance brought the art of Irish dancing to the masses, but there's a competitive side to it that can become part of the dancers' lives. In Belfast, the Irish National Dance Competition matches the best from all over the world, and the men are equally involved and as dedicated too.
We compete all around the world for the World Championships every year. We have regionals, nationals, and here this is the Irish national competition. Irish dance takes up most of your life. You sacrifice your social life and schoolwork sometimes too.
Yeah, we did All Ireland's last year and also compete at American Nationals and our Mid-Atlantic Regional Oireachtas. But this is my first time competing in Belfast, so it's pretty exciting. Like, I'm having fun so far, so it's good.
In the USA, Irish dancing is more recognized as something that people do in shows. So a lot of people have heard of Lord of the Dance and Riverdance, and they're very surprised to find out that there's such a competitive field of play that goes on with such intense pressure and so much training. And so most people are surprised and sort of delighted when they find out that there's this whole world of competitive Irish dancing.
We're at the dance studio 6 days a week, so you do your homework there and you don't have a lot of time for your friends outside of dance, but yeah, it's very strenuous, but it's a lot of fun.
The level of competition among males is incredible. It's no lower than females simply because there are less of us, and there are nuances that only come into play in the male aspect of Irish dancing, so I absolutely think that more males should Irish dance.
To Scotland now, and south of Edinburgh, there's a herd of South American beauties that one IT expert decided to swap his computers for. With a constant smile and wool that only needs shearing once a year, they're a great way to spend your retirement.
I had a desk job in IT, and as it came time to retire, I thought I would do something totally different, and this one seemed to fit the bill.
Just talk me through those first few sort of weeks and months when you had your first intake of alpacas here, and what that was like getting used to working alongside the animals.
Well, it was quite novel at first. It was nerve-wracking because it was nerve-wracking at first because they were a big responsibility, and you know, I had to get used to them, and they had to get used to me. It was a new environment for them and for me. But it was fun at the same time. There's something about alpacas that just makes you want to smile. I think it's when you look at them straight in the face, their mouths seem to curl up, as if they're smiling, so you can't help but smile back. So it makes you feel good.
And they're looking very well kempt, and they actually look sort of brushed, but you don't brush them, do you?
We don't brush them. Once they've been shorn, as these older girls have, the fleece is straighter and nothing really adheres to it much. We shear them once a year in about the end of May, beginning of June, depending on the weather here. But it's a dense fibre. It's a beautiful fibre. It's like cashmere in quality. It's so warm. It's much warmer than sheep's wool. And doesn't have any allergies associated with it.
And what's the difference between an alpaca and a llama?
They're pack animals, they're used to carrying loads, but the alpacas were produced by the South Americans purely for the fleece.
Would you ever go back to IT?
I don't think so. I think that's a chapter that's closed.
Art is a universal language and can be used to communicate with many. And in Portsmouth, adults with learning difficulties are showing just how talented they are. Even a local art gallery has become involved, giving the budding artists the potential to earn from their creations.
A colourful affair is being brought to the Summerstone Community Hub in Portsmouth when adults with learning disabilities gather and swing their paintbrushes to create unique art. Art Invisible meets every Thursday and aims to develop the skills and talents of its participants.
They're supported by a talented artist called Sharon. Sharon also has a lot of friends that volunteer for us, that offer support and guidance to the guys. Obviously, quite a few of our guys are incredibly talented natural artists themselves, and we work with them to develop their skills and to sell their images, and they get payment for that. Probably 80% of them are on the autistic spectrum. We have people with Down syndrome, and then we have other people with all different sorts of conditions, so Fragile X, non-specific learning disabilities, which is very common as well, so that they have a learning disability which affects them cognitively, socially, etc., but nobody can define what that learning disability is.
Art Invisible has been meeting since last year, and over the past 3 months, its participants have been working on an exhibition which is currently being showcased at the Community Hub. The weekly activity helps those involved to become part of the broader community.
Ever since I joined, I've been enjoying it every step of the way.
Why is it that you enjoy it that much?
It's because I've made more friends, I've got my work sold, and for people to see exactly what I can do.
And what are you painting currently?
In a heart, in round shape.
And who is this, for example?
Your name? Good morning. Bad woman. Bad Carmen. John Clooney.
And why did you choose to paint a heart?
Love.
We've got a fairly major gallery at the moment interested in 2 of our artists, and they're coming along to have a look and talk to them. So fingers crossed, it could be that they have wider exhibitions and they become known, and then they can then earn a living from coming to Art Invisible. So it doesn't mean that they would leave Art Invisible, they'd still be part of it, but actually their work is selling to a much broader audience.
And that's it from Digital Nation for this week. You can go to the BBC website, bbc.co.uk/digitalnation, to watch previous episodes, or why not log on to the website of your own local TV station. Until next time, goodbye.